Hey guys, welcome back to InfoScope Media TV. I'm your host. My name is Confident. So today we're going to be talking about matters arising in Federal University of Technology, Owerri. I mean, it's no news anymore that police around Ihiagwa and Nekede division have been harassing students, extorting money from them, and maltreating them, like treating them brutally, which is alarming. Like the rate at which these things are done these days is actually alarming. I mean, there was a case of the SUG executive actually being harassed by them actually just recently, and they were actually threatened. I mean, so today to address this issue, we have with us the Grand Commander, Student Security, Federal University of Technology, Owerri, in the person of Comr Eberechukwu Timothy. Good day, sir.
Good day. I am Comrade Timothy Eberechukwu, the SUG President, Federal University of Technology, Owerri, the only Federal University of Technology in Imo State, and the only Federal University of Technology in South-East, South-South.
So before your inauguration to office, has there been any complaint to you about this particular issue? And now during office, has there been also complaints to you about this particular issue of brutality of students?
Yes, there has been complaint. Before we were inaugurated, we got complaints about the arrest that was made around NDDC hostel. That was during the end of last semester, which we channeled the complaint to the management, and they contacted the Ihiagwa Nekede Police Division, and the information we got was that the movement was not legal from the DPO. So then we tried as much as possible to create a working relationship with them.
So you're actually trying to tell us that this arrest of students have actually been illegal practices by the officials?
Okay, some of them are legal, while some of them are illegal.
Okay.
Some of them may be by the EFCC. They have some specific persons in mind that they want to arrest. They go with their arrest warrant and they go.
You have arrest warrants.
Yes,
in these cases, they actually don't have arrest warrants. They just come in,
yes,
bumping on people and actually.
Yes, those ones are illegal, and we've gotten cases that students are being set up. The police official, they will come up and maybe they will just get one of those exhibits and fix it in your room, and they will come and show you that this and.
What do you think is the reason behind this? Like, why are they doing all this?
To be honest, I don't know the reason behind it, but
because
I know it's
setting the students up is actually not fair.
Yes.
They're supposed to be protecting the students and not setting them up. It's not fair, actually.
Yes, from the records I have, what they are after is just the money. They just want the students to go to the station with them, so they can get money by bailing the students.
So you believe they are actually after the money they get from the students?
I believe that it's not just, I don't know what they have in mind. I'm not a police officer. I'm a leader of 25,000 students in Federal University of Technology, Owerri. So I don't know what they actually have in mind, but I believe that maybe some of their selfish interest in terms of getting money is part of the.
Okay, so being fully informed of this situation before you became the SUG president of this institution, what was your plan? What plan did you have in place to ensure that this stops? Because you were fully aware that something like this was on ground even before you became the president. So what plans did you have in place to put an end to it? Okay,
we've communicated to the necessary authority. First is that we are not happy with it. Nigerian students can never be intimidated. We are not happy with it, and we are not in support of it. So we've communicated to the school management, and the school management has promised to get to the police division on Monday through the chief security officer, FUTO, and the Dean Student Affairs, including the SUG President and the CNC Manowo, to go and visit them.
That's a good one. Students are actually bombarding Twitter with the hashtag Stop Brutality in FUTO. After, and you actually wrote something about that.
Yes, I did.
After bombarding Twitter, where does it end? Like, does it just end there? After Twitter, what next? What's the aim of this whole Twitter stuff? Like, what's the aim of the social media propaganda? Okay, so after there, what is the next step?
Okay, first we started with social media campaign, because the power of social media cannot be overemphasized. We started with social media campaign against the brutality in FUTO, and if the management, after meeting the police division, and if necessary actions are not taken, we will involve our mother association, that's the National Association of Nigerian Students, to join the students in FUTO to make sure that these illegal practices will not continue, so it will go to halt, because it's not right. We need that if it continues, we need that our security is not sure and the environment of reading will not be secured. So we will involve them to make sure that this issue is being attended to.
Do you really find yourself competent enough to actually stop this? Do you think you are actually competent enough to stop this?
Of course, because the security of Nigerian students is my number one priority. Okay. If they are not safe, it means that maybe my portfolio as the Grand Commander student security is not being seen or is not active. But I'm very, very competent to make sure that it comes to an end, and we'll do our best to make sure that the illegal arrest and harassment by police to Nigerian students comes to halt.
So how far have you gone with actualizing your dreams, like actualizing the
We've contacted the Nance rep in the state, and we've told him, he said that as time goes on, that we will go and meet the DPO police Ihiagwa Nekede division. So if they don't take necessary actions to stop it, we will now take our actions. Even if it means we're going to lectures at their division to make sure that Nigerian students are protected, we will do so.
Right, so what can you say to Nigerian students in order to also protect themselves from this? I mean, because you cannot just, somebody used to say, in every lie there's an aspect of truth. Okay, so in this case, before you're arrested, I mean, you must have done something to warrant it. It's true they're just bumping on people, but if they're bumping on you and they don't find you one thing, I don't think they can actually take you away with them. Do you understand? So what advice do you have for Nigerian students? Like, what do you think they can do to protect themselves from this kind of attack?
Okay, I have 3 advice for Nigerian students, and one of them is that they should desist from social vices, because we can't be fighting what we are sure that this is an exhibit. So they should desist from social vices, they should desist from drugs and cultism. And once they do that, we are sure that on any basis of harassment that we are right. Then secondly, I advise every Nigerian student to go about with identification, maybe the student's ID card or the departmental ID card, wherever the person is going, so that he can be easily identified as a student. Because one of the cases, the police, they were saying that there is no means to identify the student, so they don't even know whether the person is a student or not. So my advice is go everywhere you are going with at least maybe your departmental ID card or SUG ID card to identify yourself.
I was actually told that when you have the SUG ID card, like, you cannot be harassed anywhere. I don't know how true that is.
Once you have your SUG ID card, you cannot be harassed. Your SUG ID card is valid for 5 years. That's once you are still a student, is valid. Unless they don't want to, unless they want to do an illegal operation. But once you have your SUG ID card, they will not be harassed.
So it's advised that every student, both those in 100 level down to the 500, should get their SUG ID card and not just limit the registration to just the freshers. Okay, that's what you're trying to say, like, right now?
Yes.
All right. So this incident is not just happening in FUTO, it happens also in other universities. Are you just planning to shield just your people, or there's actually a collaboration with SUG President and other schools to put an end to this? Because I mean, it's not just a one-sided thing, okay? It occurs in other universities. So what do you have to say about this? Is there any plan to come together and also put a stop to this, or you're just for your people alone?
Okay, the Council of SUG Presidents Imo State, we've met, and earlier January we had plan of meeting the Commissioner of Police, though our plan was distorted by the political saga going on in the state. Though in a few weeks' time we'll still go and meet the Commissioner of Police to make sure, because we currently have a new Commissioner of Police since this year in Imo State, to make sure that the voice of Nigerian students is being heard and Nigerian students are not intimidated, because we can never be intimidated as Nigerian students.
So I've actually asked before, you think you can actually prefer solution to this problem?
Yes.
Like you feel you're competent enough to prefer solution to the problem of Nigerian students. Yes. We're not just talking about Federal University of Technology Owerri alone. We're now talking about other schools represented in Imo State. I mean, other schools that are going through the same havoc.
Yes.
All right. On that note, I'd like to say thank you very much for being on our show. It was really, really great having you here.
Okay.
We're still InfoScope Media. Don't forget to follow our social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, InfoScope Media, and on YouTube, InfoScope Media TV. I am still your host, Confidence. Do well to follow me on Instagram, Confidence_Vichi.